Hey guys, my name is Amanda Parr. I am a yoga teacher, scuba diving instructor, and the author of the PADI Yoga Diver Distinctive Specialty Course. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a short beginner level yoga practice that's targeted specifically for scuba divers. We will practice some stretches and exercises that help prepare the body physically for the rigors of scuba diving, techniques that promote a relaxed nervous system, and explore some yoga concepts and techniques that cultivate a higher state of awareness, better focus, and the ability to respond to challenges with a balance of steadiness and ease. Keep in mind that yoga is an expansive learning venture that offers more as you practice more. This is just a little taste. And if you'd like to participate in more of my yoga and yoga diver offerings, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and connect with me on social media. The links are in the comments. Now, to prepare for this practice, you should be in a quiet, comfortable location, away from distractions, silence any incoming phone calls and messages, and resolve to dedicate this time towards personal development and inner exploration. You can cushion the ground underneath you with a yoga mat or a blanket, and yoga blocks are optional. If you have them, you may find them useful, but they're not necessary. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start in a supine position, which is lying down on our back. And if you do happen to have some of these yoga blocks, one thing that I will encourage you to try is to lay one of the blocks down at the lowest height, and you can just rest your shoulder blades, your middle back, on that block. So I'm just going to lay down on top of this, and what this does is it offers some expansion to my chest. I can use my other block for a little support for my head as well. So basically, if you think about it, most of our lives we are sort of being crushed by gravity, and that causes us to slouch and slump over. And so our pectoral muscles are in a chronic state of shortness and tightness, and this affects the way that we breathe. And as you know, if you're watching this video, you are most likely a scuba diver, and you know that our breathing is how we are able to control where we are in the water. And so a lot of the techniques and exercises that we focus on in the Yoga Diver course are related to learning how to control the breath, learning how to control the length and the quality of our breathing, learning how to control the capacity of our lungs. And so one important aspect of that is to help remove some of the tightness and the tension that is contributing to maybe our short breath pattern. Okay, so once we are able to relax these muscles and ease out some of these tension, then we will have a better, we will better be able to control the capacity of our breath. Okay, so whether you have that block underneath or not, let's just bring the awareness to our breathing. Perhaps you just want to notice that subtle movement in your abdomen as you breathe in and out. And you may have noticed, just by bringing the awareness to the breath kind of shifts gears and becomes a little bit longer and slower and deeper, more conscious, more influential. Of course, meditation is the foundation of our yoga practice, and meditation is not some magical, mystical thing. It's simply the art of being present. And so just by anchoring our awareness on the breath, observing each breath in and each breath out, we are able to remain anchored in the present moment, which is the only place that is real, the only place where we are able to influence what happens next. And just this practice of staying anchored in the present moment is sometimes referred to as mindfulness. When we are fully anchored in the present moment, everything that we do, everything that we experience, all of our actions become more meaningful, more conscious, more deliberate, more influential. I know I don't need to explain to you why that would be useful for us as scuba divers. So let's just take a few more moments just observing the rhythm of our breathing. Keeping the awareness on the breath, we're gradually going to begin to deepen the breath, bringing the awareness to the abdomen and deliberately softening and expanding the belly, softening and expanding the rib cage in all directions, and allowing the chest and collarbones to rise as you bring the breath to the apex of the lungs, taking a deeper breath than usual. Exhalation is effortless and passive for now. When it's time to inhale, you're bringing that breath all the way to the base of the lungs, expanding the belly, expanding the rib cage, bringing that breath all the way to the top of the lungs, filling the lungs to the top, pausing there for a moment, and then slowly letting the breath out. Just taking notice of any areas of resistance or tightness. Just taking note of that. We are going to work on that. Your tension did not arrive overnight, and it's not going to release all at once. But through our yoga practice, we are going to work on that one breath at a time. Your exhalation is natural and passive at first, but when you reach the end of your natural exhalation, you can engage your abdominal muscles, pull the belly button inwards towards the spine. This will lengthen the exhalation to be longer than usual. And then relax the belly, fill up the lungs again. Nice, long, slow, deep inhalation. Exhalation is effortless at first, but then pulling the belly button inwards towards the spine to lengthen the exhalation. It takes a little bit of concentration and effort if you're new to this. Take your time. When we can lengthen the exhalation to be longer than the inhalation, this has a powerful effect on our nervous system. It naturally lowers the heart rate. It naturally lowers the blood pressure. It triggers the parasympathetic response, which is like the body's relaxation mode. So it's a great technique also if you're feeling a bit tense, stressed out, or anxious. A great tool for scuba diving. This is our basic foundational breathing in yoga called Dirga Swasam, sometimes known as the deep yogic breath. And this is going to be our foundation for some other breathing practices that you learn in the course. So I can encourage you to continue practicing these long, slow, deep, influential, conscious breaths. I encourage you to continue practicing, extending your exhalations to be a little bit longer than your inhalations as we continue with our practice. So if you're like me and you have this block underneath your shoulder blades, I'm just going to push up on our elbows, remove that out of the way. I'm going to come back down onto my back. And stretch my arms overhead. Just give the body a nice long stretch. Stretch my heels in the opposite direction. And then on the exhalation, I'm going to bring the knees in towards my chest and lift my head off the floor, drawing it towards my knees, nice round spine. And then on the next breath in, I'm going to stretch my arms and my legs out again and breathe into that space that I'm creating. And again, on the exhalation, knees towards the forehead, forehead towards the knees. Maybe it feels good to rock from side to side a little bit or draw some circles. Before doing that for just 1 or 2 more times, we're just bringing a little bit of heat into the body. We're warming the spine up by taking it through some range of motion. This is going to help free up our breath and just free up some of the tension that we might be carrying in our body. Let's just do 1 more round, moving with that wave of long, slow, conscious breath. And then we'll bend our knees, bring the feet flat to the floor, have the arms alongside you with the palms facing down. And on the next inhalation, we're just going to lift our hips up a little bit off the ground, making a little bridge. Little kitten could walk underneath. And then we use the exhalation to lower, lower, lower. Tucking that tailbone, pressing it in towards the ground at the very end of that breath. On the inhale, we'll tilt the pelvis back. We'll engage the glutes and lift, lift, lift a little bit higher this time. Pause there at the top of the breath. And then use the exhalation to lower, lower, lower. And continue to do this a few more times with the length of your long, slow, yogic breathing. Approaching this as a breath control practice and simply allowing the movement to flow like water with that conscious, mindful breathing. So by using the breath with our movement, we are encouraging a better flow of prana, sometimes known as chi, the vital life force energy that makes us conscious and alive in this moment. Let's just do 1 more time, 1 more round, and then lower the hips back down. Bring the knees to the chest again and gently rock from side to side. Draw some circles. This is a nice massage for the lower back. Of course, as scuba divers, we're carrying a lot of weight. And both on the surface and underwater, this weight can take its toll, especially on our lower back. So it's good to give a little bit of attention to that part of your body. Notice any, tightness. And we can just ease that out gently with our movement and our breath. And from here, we're going to come up into a seated position. And just take a pause here just to notice how you feel so far. Maybe feeling a little bit more relaxed, mind feeling a little bit more quiet and clear. So we're going to continue just with some gentle exercises that are going to help free up the joints. You know, when we scuba dive, a lot of the work that we're doing is actually on the surface of the water. You know, think about sometimes the struggle of putting on your wetsuit, getting on your gear, carrying all of that weight, moving with that gear, with that heavy gear on the surface. So we want to have nice lubricated joints. And so when we take our joints through their range of motion, this is causes the synovial fluid to flush through the joints. You can think of it as like an internal lotion, lubricating the inside of your body and just getting your body prepared for that physical activity. Okay? So we're going to just start with our lower body. Stretch the legs out. Lean back on your hands if you need to. And we're just going to point the toes away from us and then point the toes back towards us. Point the toes away and then back towards you. Scrunch up the feet. Spread out the toes. Scrunch up the feet. Spread out the toes. Make some big circles. Take the ankle joints through their range of motion. Notice any tight spots. Okay? Our entire body is used when we're scuba diving, believe it or not. Don't believe me? Next time you go scuba diving, think about the preparation as well. Just notice how your entire body feels through the process. Let's bend the right knee in towards the chest, let the knee fall open, and hold on to the foot with the left hand and the knee with the right hand. If you're more flexible, you might be able to get it up inside the elbows, and we're just gonna gently rock the baby. Okay, we're just freeing up the hip joints and getting that synovial fluid flushing through the hip joints. You can roll around on the glute muscle. Okay, the glutes are a great ally for our lower back, plays a big role in the stability and the sturdiness of our body. Of course, really important, as I said before, with all of that weight that we carry as scuba divers. With that foot in the left hand, we can take the right hand back behind the leg and we can stir the pot. Just drawing some circles with the heel. Notice all the joints that are being moved here. Our hip is in on the action, our knee, our elbows, our shoulder joints. Be sure to stop midway and do some circles in the opposite direction. And then we'll place that leg back down, do the other side. Bend the left knee in towards the chest. Let the knee fall open, a little bit of external rotation for the hip. And then we're going to hold on to the left foot with the right hand. The knee goes into the left hand or up in your elbows. If you find that easy, just for a little greater stretch to the glute, and gently rock from side to side. Just think about that hip joint moving around in that socket. And as you do that, that viscous jelly fluid is moving around, lubricating it. Roll around a little bit, massage the glute. Really easy stuff. No big deal, right? You're going to feel so good after this. You're going to feel more prepared for any activity. Let's try stirring the pot. So we're holding onto the foot with the right hand again. The left hand comes behind the leg, and we're just going to make circles. Stirring a big pot of rum punch. You can try tiny little circles. Each circle can get a little bit bigger. You can do big, wide circles. Be sure to rotate in the opposite direction. This is really simple movement, but already I'm feeling like this internal heat. I feel like that prana, that life force is flowing more vibrantly through me. I'm going to place that down. Okay, what about our upper body? You know, we do use our arms, you know, like getting on all this gear, we have to have good mobility in our shoulders. Let's try just inhaling our arms overhead and exhaling them down and back behind us, reaching out behind you. Inhale up. This can be done standing as well. Exhale. Just coordinating the movement with your own breathing in an intelligent way. Remember, the breath is your anchor. We're approaching this entire practice as a mindfulness meditation. Okay. And place the fingertips on top of the shoulders and bring the elbows towards each other and then back as if they might touch behind your back. Probably not going to happen. Feel that expansion through the chest, and then as you exhale, bring the elbows together. Feel that expansion through the middle back. Inhale and exhale. Now let's draw circles. Elbows come up and back and down and forward. With the breath, inhale up, back, down, and forward. Let's reverse in the opposite direction. Down, back, up, and forward. Do that a couple more times with your breath. Visualize that synovial fluid flushing through the shoulder joints. Makes you feel more awake, more alert, more mobile, more healthy. And of course, when we couple that with our breath and we stay very mindful, everything that we do becomes more powerful, more influential. And just shake out the wrists, rotate the wrists and the fingers. We want good dexterity in our hands and our fingers because sometimes, we have little things that we have to deal with when it comes to scuba diving. And if our fingers are really stiff and clumsy, that can be an impediment. So, wiggle your fingers, rotate your wrists, stretch your hands, get everything ready. So let's just give some more attention to the spine. We're going to come onto our hands and knees and do some cat-cow exercises. So when we exhale, we can push into our hands, round the spine up towards the sky, tuck our tailbone, tuck our chin, and we're arching up like a cat. And then on the inhale, we can relax our belly, lift our tailbone, expand our chest, lift our chin, lift the eyes. We come into our cow pose. On the exhale, we round and compress into the cat. And then on the inhale, we lengthen, expand, and open up into the cow. Of course, we're approaching this as a breath control practice, using that deep yogic breathing and simply allowing your movement to flow like a wave with that breath. And this is helping to free up all the space around the spine, freeing up the breathing muscles. This is going to make it easier for you to take those long, expansive breaths and learn how to control the capacity of your lungs better. After this round, let's come back to center and shift our hips to the right and gaze over our left shoulder. A little C shape with the side of the body. Inhale, come back, and then shift the hips to the left and gaze over the right shoulder. Just facilitating a little bit of lateral flexion of the spine, which is kind of like the side bending of the spine. And again, this is just helping to free up any tension from the trunk of the body, free up the breath, free up the vital energy so that we're more awake, more alert, more expanded state of awareness. One more time on each side, and then come back to center. Lower our arms and elbows down to the floor. And on the next inhalation, you can twist open to the right and reach your right arm up and look towards your fingers. And exhale that arm back down. And then inhale, twist open to the left, reach up your left arm, look up at your fingers. And exhale back down. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. Maybe wave your fingers, rotate the wrists, wiggle the fingers, free everything up. That's why we're here. You know you need it. You know it's good for you. You know you're going to feel good. You're probably already feeling good. One more time on each side. With the breath, use the inhale to expand and open, and the exhale to come back to center. Let's come back up onto our hands, touch our toes to the mat, and lift our knees up off the mat and reach our butt high towards the sky. Spread our fingers out and put an equal amount of pressure through all parts of both hands. Create some length between the wrists and the tailbone. Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. This requires an equal balance of steadiness and ease. And this is what our yoga asanas do for us. These physical exercises we do in yoga are aimed to facilitate a balance of steadiness and ease in the body. From here, we can bend the knees a little bit, walk the feet forward, walk the hands back, walk the hands up to the legs just above the knees, and you come to a half forward bend, Ardha Uttanasana. And your body is kind of like in this L position. And we're going to work with the breath a little bit here again. Okay, this is our focus. On the inhale, I'm going to draw my shoulders away from my ears. I'm going to lengthen my body, make my back nice and flat. There's some effort and strength required in my core to do this. On the next exhalation, I'm going to keep that length, but I'm going to fold forward and let my back round. Let go of the weight of my arms, let go of the weight of my head, and just dangle here for a few moments. Okay, this is a really nice stretch for the entire back of the body. Then on my next breath in, I'm going to use that breath to engage and lift through my pelvic floor. Use my core strength to rise back up into my L shape. Feel the crown of my head reaching towards the horizon in front of me as my sitting bones at the base of my pelvis are reaching towards the horizon behind me. My shoulders actively moving away from the ears. I feel this sense of strength and length at the same time. And I'm going to just let myself stay here for a moment and see how it feels to breathe into that. And then on the exhalation, I'm going to ease down into my full forward bend again. Do that a few times with that long, slow yogic breath. Inhale up. Feel that active ha energy, that yang energy, effort. And then as you exhale, feel yourself surrendering to that cooling, passive thought or yin energy. And use the breath just to rhythmically move from one position to the next. Again, approaching this as a breath control practice, but just letting the body move with the breath, okay? This is not only removing tension from the body, warming up the body, getting the body nice and lubricated and prepared for scuba diving and other activities, but it's also helping you to develop that control over your breathing, which is so important for scuba diving. And also, we're approaching this as a meditation, and so it's developing that sharper focus, that higher state of awareness. Now on this next time, we're going to actively push into the feet, actively lift through the pelvic floor. Use that core power to slowly rise up. Might feel good to reach the arms overhead. Just open up the front of the body to the sky. Maybe lean to one side and then to the other side. Separate the feet a little bit, hands on the hips, and just rotate a little bit. Let's move the body, shake it out. Now, balance. We're going to try a balancing pose. If you are not sure about your balance, then go near a wall and just have the wall there that you can reach out and touch it. Okay? Balance is something that does require some strength and control in your body, but the majority of influence comes from your mind. Okay? So if your mind is really full of chatter, if you've got a lot going on in your life and you have a hard time focusing, you're going to have a hard time finding your balance. And so there's two parts to our balancing positions. One, we want to find a foundation of stability. So just kind of rock forwards and backwards on your feet, shift your weight from side to side, and feel like you're firmly rooted into the earth. Okay, you found that stability. Now the next part is focus. We can use a yogic technique called drishti, which is a visual focus technique. We find something either in front of us or maybe in the distance, something preferably that's not moving around too much, something steady that we can softly focus our vision on. And when we become very focused visually, this will have a naturally balancing effect. Our mind becomes more quiet and more clear. And the chatter kind of fades away a little bit. Okay? So let's start by shifting our weight over onto our right foot and just get comfortable with all the weight onto the right foot before we even think about what to do with this one. Once you feel sturdy on that right leg, you can externally rotate the left hip and maybe just touch the left ankle to the inside of the right leg. Your balance is going to shift around a little bit. Just give it a chance to even out, find that focus, find that presence, find your balance. And for those of you who might find this really easy, you can slide the foot further up the leg, maybe to the lower leg, maybe all the way to the upper leg. You're coming into Vrikshasana, the tree pose. So just like a tree, we're firmly rooted into the earth. We can feel that energetic pulling and connection between the bottom of our foot and the ground underneath. We feel that sturdiness and that strength, that stability in the lower body. That's the trunk of the tree. The upper body is like the branches of the tree. And we can even move around a little bit with the breeze once we find our balance here. Like I said, you have to find that internal focus. You can take 1 or 2 more breaths here and then come out with control and ease, shake out that right leg. Now, just in these few moments in between before we do the next side, I want to mention that balancing on land has a lot of similarities with our buoyancy underwater. Okay, so part of it is, our body mechanics and learning how to control how we're holding our body, but a lot of it is mental. When it comes to our buoyancy, if our mind is all over the place, if we have like a serious whirlpool of chatter going on in our heads, or if we're anxious, it's like we're going to be losing our balance constantly underwater. But when we are relaxed and focused and at ease, buoyancy comes very naturally. And so this is something, a consideration that we focus a lot on in the Yoga Diver class, is developing that internal balance via that mindful awareness and breath control. And that is going to come in handy if you're trying to balance yourself on land with your physical body, whether you're trying to balance yourself in all the challenges and scenarios in life, or whether you are trying to balance yourself underwater, otherwise known as your buoyancy. Okay, let's do the other side. Let's shift our weight over onto the left side. Let's find that focus if you want to use that visual focus. And then when you feel sturdy on that left leg, you can externally rotate the right. That heel can just rest on the top of the foot. Once you feel steady there, maybe that foot comes up a little higher on the leg. For those of you who feel really sturdy, maybe it comes a little bit closer up towards your groin crease. And you can even try some different things with your arms. Woo, I'm at the beach and it's windy, so I feel like a tree blowing around. Find that steadiness of breath. Find that steadiness in those internal waters. Imagine those turbulent waters just kind of calming down, becoming more easeful, more quiet, more clear. We'll just stay here for 1 or 2 more breaths and then come out with control and ease. Okay, nice job. So now we're going to come back down onto our mats. And we're going to practice another breathing technique. This one is known as Nadi Shuddhi. Some yogis might know it as Nadi Shodhana. So this is alternate nostril breathing. And this is a way that we can calm the nervous system and clear the energetic channels. And this helps to prepare us for a deeper state of awareness and a deeper sense of calm in the body. Okay, so we're going to close off the right nostril with the thumb and exhale completely out of the left nostril. When it's time to breathe in fully through the left nostril and then close it off with the pinky and ring finger and exhale completely out of the right. Inhale, close it off with the thumb, exhale out of the left. The pattern is exhale, inhale, change nostrils. Slow down, exhale, inhale, and change nostrils. Continue to do this a few more times at your own pace. Don't rush the breath. Don't let the mind speed up and carry you off into the horizon. Stay here in this moment. Acknowledge any discomfort, acknowledge any restlessness. Know that that's completely normal. We're going to carve that new pathway and just stay present. Despite all of those things that are wanting to pull us away, we're just going to stay here with our breath, visualizing it like this energetic floss being passed through the body, cleansing away any impurities, cleansing away any energetic congestion, any negativity, any chatter, anything that is standing in the way of that calm, clear, quiet state within. And when you next exhale from your right nostril, don't rush to get there, take your time. I'm going to sit here with you. Your hands can just come down to your lap when you're finished. Keep the awareness turned within. And just take notice of that very subtle sensation of the breath entering and leaving both of the nostrils. Perhaps you sense this balance of the breath coming in and out equally through both nostrils. And just take a few moments to see how the body feels. Just from this short practice, perhaps you feel a little bit more easeful, a little bit more steady in the physical body. Perhaps you feel a little bit more centered and calm and focused. I think you already know that this is a good thing for you, and that this expanded state of awareness, this state of steadiness and ease that you're cultivating through yoga is really useful for you as a scuba diver, just helping you feel more relaxed and comfortable, calming the nerves, the ability to better be able to control your breath and therefore better be able to control your buoyancy. And also just these mindfulness techniques are really have that effect of bringing you fully into the present moment where you can have influence on everything that takes place. Okay, so making you more alert and better prepared, better empowered to handle the challenges that come up in scuba diving and also just come up in life in general. They're unavoidable. So we can better prepare ourselves. We can approach life as a yogi. So thank you for practicing with me. I really hope that if we don't already know each other, that eventually at some point that we can meet, we can practice together. I would really love to do more of this with you. I would love to dive with you as well, as a yogi, of course. So if you are not already connected with me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Connect with me on social media. You can find me as Amanda Parr Yoga, and also Soul Scuba, Yoga and Diving. Okay, so you can come and see me on my home island of Nevis in the Caribbean, or somewhere else in the world. Okay, so hope to see you again soon. Bless. Take care. Namaste.